Hi everyone, it's Madisen, and I just wanted to do a very quick contribution to the people who are fighting our fires within Australia. I just had a meetup with my beautiful friend Jill, and she told me about a friend of hers whose son is actually volunteering as a firefighter. And she asked if he would be getting any counselling. And right now, apparently they're not. I'm not 100% sure of that situation. And it made me think, well, maybe I could volunteer and help in that way because, that's my purposeful passion. And what I realized is that I don't have to make this into a big palaver. I can actually just come on here now and share some practices that are really powerful to help people overcome stress and overwhelm. And what I'll actually do at the end of this is post some links and break down this video so people can go straight to the bits where you can actually do the practice. Now, the practices that I'm going to share with you are ones that you don't have to believe in. And I think we're right now at a crisis where we have to just have some faith that things work. A very interesting name called the Ho'oponopono, which is an ancient Hawaiian energy tradition. And what I'm feeling is that it's not just the people who are in the midst of the fires, the firefighters and the volunteers. I'm witnessing that the main conversations lately are about the fires in our country, and people are feeling very overwhelmed and stressed, hopeless and helpless. So this is also a way to contribute whatever you can, be it energetically, because quantum physics says there is no time and space, so we can contribute on a quantum level, and these two practices are very much about that. First of all, I just want to honor the people who are fighting the fires for us. To date, there has been over 20 lives that have perished, and also close to 500 million of our wildlife. And if you're an animal lover like me, you'll know how devastating that is. And also just even people who are affected by the smog and the smoke and all that sort of stuff, it does create havoc in our lives. And I understand that these sort of things are very overwhelming and it does affect our mental health. So here's how I would like to be of service to those and everybody who's watching this, and feel free to share it. As I said, I'll break it down so it's a lot easier to share in a blog post, and I'll put the link on later. So the first one I wanted to talk to you about was the emotional freedom technique. So both these two practices are energetically based, and we are 99.9999999% energy. So if we can understand that, then we know that no matter where you are listening or watching this, you can make a contribution, because there is no time and space. Quantum physics tells us that time and time again. You can work along with me in these practices or just do them in your own time, whenever you just want to feel a little bit more centered and peaceful. So the emotional freedom technique was actually brought about by founder Gary Craig, who I've studied with. And a component that I want to share with you now is that he actually went and worked with the Vietnam war vets in a hospital, and they had been there for decades with post-traumatic stress disorder. And they had been treated, they were on medication, they were having psychological help, and decades, they were still very much in the throes of that overwhelm and, mental instability, for lack of better word. And after 1 week doing this technique, they vastly improved. And many of them said that Gary Craig's technique of EFT had changed and saved their lives. So I'll take you through that now. I am going to do a hybrid technique, and what it is, it's all about your energy center. So if any of you have ever had acupuncture or anything like that, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But let's just go with the flow and trust me here, because this has worked for me. It has worked for my clients, which are thousands of people around the world, and it's worked for many people who have practiced it. And for those who are doubtful, you'll even see when I do this funny tapping business that you'll start noticing it in places. I've actually seen the rugby team from New Zealand, the All Blacks, doing it just before they go out to the game. So if it's good enough for those tough boys, it's good enough for us guys. Okay, so we're basically going to use our fingers as tapping aspects. And what you'll do is you'll just tap along with me. And I'm going to say some words. You can say them with me, or you know what? You can just like let your mind go, and your subconscious knows what needs to be realigned within you. And the reason why we want to realign ourselves, because the emanate actually does positively affect that around us. So the people who are actually in the midst of the fires, the calmer we can be in supporting them, that's a way we can be of service. It seems simple, but that's my small contribution. So what we're going to do is we're going to use 2 fingers, and we're going to tap just here, just where your eyebrow starts. And we'll be just tapping on the inside of the eyebrow, the outside of the eyebrow, underneath your eye socket, just here, underneath your nose, the chin, and then your collarbones. And we're just tapping gently, and it doesn't matter if it's 3 fingers or 2 fingers or 1 finger, or you're doing one hand, or it doesn't matter if you're just even watching this. It'll be able to work. And then the other thing we can do, I'll just pop up here, is, there we go. It's kind of like, ladies, it's like on your bra strap. So just here. So we're just gonna go through a few aspects of it. So the first thing I want you to do is, if you're feeling a bit unnerved, I want you to think of, on a scale to 10, how much charge that has. So if it's 10, then that means it's got a lot of charge. If it's a 1, it means it hardly has any charge and it's not really bothering you. So I want you to think of something that is particularly perplexing to you now. So for me, I just have to think about those people who have lost their lives and their families, and as well as the animals, because as you know, I love animals, and my little Talia is right behind me, my cat, who's turning 20 this year. So if I look at that and that feeling of hopelessness and helplessness that I'm experiencing in relation to these fires, it's probably at a 9. So it's quite high for me, because I feel like I can't do a lot, but hopefully this will help. So let's just tap along. So even though, and I'm just going to use these words. So even though I feel overwhelmed right now, I deeply and completely choose to love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I feel overwhelmed by all the news and all the deaths and the tragedy of people losing their homes, having to leave their homes, I now choose to think of ways that I can support them, because they all are doing the work that maybe we are unable to do, and in my case, aren't courageous enough to do. And we all have gifts that we can contribute. And I now choose to contribute in whatever way I can. I choose to let go of the overwhelm. I choose to let go of the stress and anxiety. I choose to let go of the worry, the fear, the helplessness and hopelessness. And just breathing through it. And hopefully just feeling yourself relaxing more and more. And that's basically a round. We did a couple of rounds. So I just want you to check in on your number now. So say if I was at a 9, I actually feel like I'm probably at a 4 right now. So I've managed to realign my energy, so I'm a little bit more calm. So I want to get down to that 0, 1, or 2. So let's just keep going. So again, you use your own words. You can, repeat after me, whatever suits you. It works. Energy. It's amazing. So even though I feel overwhelmed, and even though I feel a bit hopeless and helpless, and even though I find the news very overwhelming to watch and witness, and my heart goes out to those that are in the midst of the fires, or in the midst of the overwhelm and are losing their homes or having to evacuate their homes, I now choose to send peace, love, safety to them now, and consider what gifts I may have that I can be of service to them in whatever way it can be. Just breathing through And just breathing. And now just check your number again. I'm probably down at a 1. So that means and you can just feel it. You feel like you can just breathe a bit better, like more easily. So how you can use that is, and I've got some resources on my website, which I will also link. You can use this to help get you at a better place, but also how you can contribute. We all have very special gifts that we can contribute. And, you might be a really good listener. That right now is such a powerful gift because people just need to talk and they just need support and they just need empathy. It could be that, you're willing to donate a couple of dollars or however much you can afford, or forego that latte in the morning and donate that to the fires. And I'll put some links in the post of opportunities where you may be able to do that. So EFT, very powerful. And the other thing is that I found in the past when I've been overwhelmed, and I've shared the story when one of my darling little fur babies passed away and I had to go and do a talk in front of 500 people and I was very overwhelmed and upset. I couldn't even do the words. I was that distraught. And I remember being in the bathroom at the venue and I just did this. I just tapped and I just breathed. So let's do some of that now. Just tapping and breathing. Just releasing. Just keeping it simple. Tapping, breathing, sending love to yourself and to all those around you. Sending immense gratitude as well to all those around you, for those fighting the fires, supporting those people as well, the families, the friends, the colleagues. So you can just tap. You don't have to overthink it. So the second thing I want to talk to you about is the Ho'oponopono, which sounds like a really convoluted word, but it is so simple. Again, it's energetically based. It is so powerful. And Dr. Hugh Len is the person who has brought the modern version of that into the world. There's been previous versions. So it's this simple. He was working at a medical kind of institute with people who had committed crimes. And he was, I believe, their local psychologist there. And it was really interesting to witness because he never did one-on-ones, like did client-patient consultations. What he actually did is when he read their folders, things would come up within him. He might have felt disgust or anger or sadness. And what he ended up doing was he ended up using these 4 powerful phrases as he was doing it. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And it sounds so simple, but again, I know this works. So many people practice it. It's in a lot of successful and fulfilled people's toolkits. So as I said, you don't have to believe it to work. Let's just trust in it because we do need a lot of faith right now. So he would read their files and the only interaction he had would be over meals, or he'd go and play tennis with them. And over a short period of time, he noticed a vast improvement, not only in his patients, but also in the people who worked with them. And all that was happening was that he was keeping his own house clean. He was cleansing the energy within him. And as you know, if you're dealing or you go into a situation and the energy is a bit frantic, it makes you overwhelmed or a bit on tender hooks. But if you go into an environment that is peaceful and calm, you also feel that way. So that is where we can be of service, where we can get back in our center, feel that peace so that we can emanate and support others from a really grounded and powerful place. So all you need to do is if something comes up within you that feels overwhelming, or you feel sad, or you feel that helpless or anxious or angry or whatever it is, it's those 4 sentences. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I'll pop a link in. I do have resources on my website around it. And after a while, you just keep repeating it, and it just makes your energy start to flow so much more beautifully and easily. And if, old school TV people, if you've ever seen, in the TV when it used to get out of focus and it used to be that kind of like energy system, that's what's happening within us when we are feeling not solid or peaceful within ourselves. And these two processes, EFT and the Ho'oponopono, actually help us regain that so that we can be a better contributor now to this world and anywhere. So anybody in the world can do these two very quick practices. So thank you to the people who have joined me today. I will break this video down to make it more consumable. As I said, incremental changes make monumental differences. So whatever you can do, just think about it. Like I said, it could be $1 or $2 to donate, or it could be having the conversation, or it could be giving food to people nearby. I've heard about people who have left their homes so that those who don't have homes could go and stay there. Whatever it is, I've got to say, one of the biggest things we can do is just be kind to one another. Again, such gratitude to the firefighters, the volunteers, their support systems, prayers and love to those who have lost their lives and their families and friends, and to the beautiful animals that are losing their habitats. So much love, guys. I hope this was a service.